Hey guys, Tbull here. Today we got a game in the Kagero Space Fishy. There's the build. Now, yesterday I put up my destroyer rankings tier 7. Controversy abound. Biggest controversy centered around the fact that I had the lightning low on the list. I think it was third from the bottom. Now, the the consensus was I was incorrect. Okay, so we'll put it that way. Which I'm fine with. Obviously, it's my own personal list, and everyone's got their own opinion. Lightning, I don't mind the ship, by the way. In fact, I think aside from the Z-23 and the Fantastic, every other destroyer tier 7 is very good, okay? Or good to very good. A lot of fun to play. Maybe I should have made that a little bit more clear. I did have the Kagero 1 rank higher than the Lightning. And my goal tonight was just to, after reading the comments all day when I was at work, I'm like, all right, I'm going to have a little bit of fun with this. I'm going to go home and I'm just going to play the Kagero for a couple games till I can find a Lightning 1v1. I'll beat the shit out of them and then put it on a bull bite. So it'll be kind of a fun clip. Say, oh, check it out. Kagero's better than Lightning. Obviously not a objective way to evaluate the ships or anything, but I thought it would have been kind of funny. Instead, I accidentally put up this game. Now, this game is going to be one of my highest scoring games that I've ever played. Certainly, I believe it was probably the highest scoring game of the last year. And I was playing pretty recklessly throughout. So it ends up being a wild game that, frankly, I don't think I should have survived, but somehow I did. So we're going to strap ourselves in here. Hopefully you guys do enjoy this one. But my goal going in the game, I'm like, all right, I pull up the roster. I'm like, yes, all right, we got a Lightning on the enemy team. Now, usually I'm not going to torp this angle here, but look at the twist and track here. We want to get on C. And normally when the destroyer is coming in from the spawn, it's going to be more or less due south of me. Like if I'm going to torp, look on the map, just to the left of that C when we looked at it on the screen. But, south or maybe a little bit southeast would be my torp launch. But Twist and Track suggested he was coming up through this zone here. And then we spot him right here, Udachi. Okay, check this out. Now it looks like he dodges to me. Boom! But he gone right off the bat there. And there's no doubt with that vicious torpedo strike that the Udachi off the board. All right, so that was a pretty sweet opener displaying the power of the zoning torps. Why I like to use Twist and Track or whatever the other one is that shows the approximate location of the opposing ship. Normally, if I was just playing on experience and didn't have that information on the screen there, I would have, again, launched the torps maybe southward, or if I didn't have that Twist and Track, I probably would very rarely use zoning torps because they become even lower percentage shots than they already are. So, all right, we managed to get C. We killed 1/3 of the enemy's destroyer power. Udachi, certainly a dangerous ship. And now we got to evaluate what's going on here. And by the way, the team playing heavily behind us. In fact, we got a, looks like, disregard the Chuck Hughes for a moment here, but we'll put them in the count. 2, 4, 6, 7v now 2. It was a 7v3 to open. Now it's a 7v2 at the Udachi. They are shooting the mines, which is great because the mines, if you'll note, is the lone cruiser. That's the ship I was looking for when the game started. And a little bit discouraged that he came right over towards me. Team doing a great job though. But what our job done, or our job over here, I should say, is now done. Looking for an opportunity to grab B. We got one destroyer, and I think it's Lightning actually spotted on the A cap. And then the other one clearly not on B. Okay, now we do have the mines. He's low, but he does have a little bit of HP to work with, so he could potentially threaten us on B here. I do need to keep an eye on that, but we got a lot of ships that are kind of in between him and B, right? And that's a lot of them are battleships as well, and that's what we do with the battleships. We put ourselves in the lanes that these ships would want to traverse. He'd have to go broadside into B and he would die. So I'm not that afraid of him. Twist and Track moves from the mines to the south over here. Again, valuable information. So we're saying to ourselves, okay, we can check exactly how far the mines is away from us, and then we'll know that the enemy destroyer is closer than that, right? Because this little half moon white thing there is always pointing to the closest ship on the enemy team. So anytime it dramatically changes direction, we know that something is now closer than what used to be the closest ship. Mine's on the ropes here. I'm putting the big island in between me and the suspected positions of the destroyer or destroyers, which is due west. You can see a lot of red ships further west than that, but they got those giant islands. Yeah, they just cleared the side out there, overwhelming that side as our team did our side. But they can't shoot me. So the destroyers, yes, and we now know that there was 2 of them over there. careful of that. But I do want the mines off the board, and I was noticing he was kind of behind that island directly. So I wasn't sure if my team could shoot him or not, but we're looking for opportunities to go ahead and hit him. Yeah, we get spotted here briefly by the mines, but again, we're not too concerned. I mean, I'm assuming these guys are rushing me, but the cap is, now it's contested, but previously it wasn't. So they were still outside the cap. Now that they're over there, I know at least one of them is close range here, and I'm thinking, okay, here's the clip for bull bites. We want to find this lightning. He did take a shot earlier. I saw someone on my team shot him once, so it's not a completely fair fight, but I want to just beat him up. So that's all I was really trying to do at this point in time in the game. But both destroyers are going to be coming in hot, and all the battleships basically are going to be pushing us like crazy. Here's the lightning poking out here. Whether he's trying to torp or not, I don't know, but there's the Minsk. He's much more dangerous in terms of the gun. So have to drop the smoke here, disengage. Minsk apparently torping rather than shooting. I could be nearly half dead by now after about 2 or 3 shots from Minsk. If Lightning added his in there and it was a true 2v1, I'd probably be close to death right now. They elected to carefully line up torpedo strikes, presumably, thus doing no damage. So poor decision making there, but common on destroyer v destroyer fights. Here's one salvo. Okay, fine. As long as we don't get hit here, then we can continue to prove the point that we were trying to make previously. Guns win destroyer v destroyer fights, not torpedoes usually. Sometimes they do, but very rarely. Okay, here's another set here. Just got an angle there. Oh, they ran out. Okay, that's the Minsk torps for sure. The other ones could have been lightning. They seemed like they had a little bit more reach, or the Minsk perhaps, since he was sailing away. The first one had a little bit further reach. Anyway, we got a Foudra here, which is a John Bart with secondaries, I believe. Here's more torpedoes. Lightning. Oh, single-fired torpedoes. Well, if they're intended to sink the destroyer, they're going to have a hard time with that. I don't use single-fire torps, not at that range, certainly. A little bit concerned here. This cruiser battleship touching us. Now, the secondaries, I'm worried about them hitting me. Number one, resetting. I would like to get this base, but if not, we don't want to give up the damage either. We're still full health here. Trying to figure out, can I use the smoke? We only got 20 seconds left on it, but we have multiple destroyers. We got a Heinrich, we got Foudra, we got lots of close quarter stuff here. I'm popping in the smoke immediately saying, okay, these guys are pushing, gotta get out of here. I can't sit here and farm, even if it's just for the 5 or 10 seconds I was intending to do so. Unstoppable, that means someone's getting close. Just noticed the red destroyer on the map. Now, couldn't find him playing live. Doesn't look like he was spotted very long. But there he, ooh, we got another Egon there on the Minsk. And there's the lightning. He was actually behind that island. So, little discombobulated there with all the ships. I mean, there's a lot of ships, a lot of action over here. So trying to find that lightning when he was briefly on the map, couldn't find him. But here we are. Finally, we're going to get our little bull bite here. The Kagero beats the crap out of the lightning. See, I told you. I had the ranks proper. Now, great job by the team, piling in on the shots. But we're getting shot by the Heinrich. We're getting shot by the Foudra. We're getting shot by everything else. So both teams have plenty of support. I got a knocked engine. We got a torpedo incoming. Whew. This is why we always spec for the perk that allows reduced mobility with a knocked engine. You need that on your destroyer builds. If you don't have it, switch your commanders, switch your build, okay? Because it's essential. We're dead there if not. And that's a good play, by the way. When we're trying to aim torps, trying to hit a destroyer, you want to aim them usually halfway, is what I do at least, between where they are and where the max position they could be, because you're probably going to knock their engine. That'll slow them down, or if they get stalled, then they'll get hit by the torps. That's usually when I'm going to hit a destroyer with the torpedoes. It's that kind of set play that I execute basically in most destroyer fights. All right, so the team and myself, mostly the team, got rid of the lightning. Great job there. We're in trouble here in between smokes, which is a problem for another minute. So at this point in time, I'm like, okay, I'm dying here. Unfortunately, we're going to leave the team down a ship. But, you know, this is the part of the game that kind of got away with one. I mean, up until now, I think I was, you know, playing under control. But here, frankly, if I'm on the red team right now, I don't think this Kagero makes it out of the sequence alive, especially when we're hitting this beach here. Cooks off, cleaning staff, whoever else we got on there, non-essentials, sayonara, go get yourself a drink on the beach. We'll pick you up at the end of the fight. All right, so we're still trying to get between this ship. Hopefully the secondaries will now begin to target him. Should have probably just stopped shooting, but again, I didn't expect to be alive this long, especially being targeted by the main guns and the secondaries there. Foudra coming in hot. Let's see if we can get them off the board. These guys all have refueling lines in the on the water, I should say, making them effectively invincible unless our team really focuses the fire on them and even gets a little bit lucky with some big shots. So throwing some torps down here, seeing if we can kill some of these tankers, or I'm sorry, warships. These aren't actually fuel tankers. I get confused with the Will to Rebuild perk. Anyway, continuing on with the game here, immediately pop the smoke, because I do want to just sit here and fire the guns. We're still trying to win the game at this point in time, but I do want to break up these pairs, right? So if we can, we don't have a long time on the torpedo reload left. We got about 45 seconds. We got more time with the smoke, so we'll get one more shot here. And by the way, we can just sit here and shoot the guns, see if we can catch some fires, because we need these ships to die. Okay, so we always got to be checking. Okay, this guy's lower. He's now the target, right? Prince Friedrich on the left, for whatever reason I was shooting him earlier. I think he was the one I could hit. This guy currently has less health. Everybody on the team needs to evaluate that, and they all need to shoot him, right? Because currently, at the rate of damage per minute that I got, and most of these guys got, we cannot sink these guys without combined focused fire. All right, that's a design flaw. I don't know why. There's a guy named Bill that works at Wargaming. He came up with this horseshit idea. Why it hasn't been removed from the game yet, I have no idea. But I cannot sink this ship. I could shoot him for 45 minutes. I could not sink him as long as his teammate stays near him. And nobody else in my team could without the aid of the other. So you have to, don't be stubborn when we're trying to sink these invincible battleships. I always say, okay, this guy's lower now, or my team's shooting this guy. Doesn't matter if I think this is the better target or not. That's the one that we're more likely going to be able to do. You got to give up your stubbornness when fighting these invincible battleships. Otherwise, they will remain invincible, and there's nothing you can do about it. All right, so we're just throwing out some torps here. Got a little bit of time left. We got to start thinking about score as well, because we're down 150 points down a ship. That evens it up a little bit. We got a 100-point swing there, but we're now down about 45, 50 points, whatever it is. And they're threatening to get B. Okay, so they already got A. I'm thinking, okay, well, shoot, we probably have thrown at this point in time, because if that battleship stays on B, I can't necessarily get it. I need that blue battleship on the left of that thing to sink this guy. At that point in time, I'm thinking this is really the only hope. I also have an Iowa on the southern edge of A, and then something behind him. I think it's a Champagne or something goofy. So our best bet is either our dude ram him, the Heinrich, or just shoot him. You know, he's got 3,000-4,000 health. Just shoot him in the superstructure, kill him that way. I'm hoping maybe, check this Iowa. Currently he's pointing to the right of our screen, or trending to the right. But I'm thinking, okay, he's going to turn towards the cap, because this dude over here, Prince Heinrich's about to die. I think he actually kills the Alabama, or they simultaneously kill each other there with shots. But had that red battleship not died there, this would have been a lot tougher. But anyway, I'm thinking to myself, okay, if we win that fight, which we need to do to have a chance, Iowa then is going to turn into B. That's why we launched to the left of the Iowa here, and he is indeed turning back that way. You can see a moment ago he's turned to the right. Now he's turned to the left of the screen, to the east, as the navigator types say. But he stops. He puts on the brakes, does fire his guns at the Chuck Hughes, who did, presumably, looks like he suicide rushed the Champagne. So despite a very slow developing start, he does get some sort of contribution there. Didn't really pay attention to the rest of his game, but it was a little bit baffled for the first 3-4 minutes. He was actually playing to the loading screen. He was hiding amongst the bigger ships to surprise the enemy, which apparently is what he did there. Anyway, so now how do we do this? I'm pinging the Hughes to get A, and he actually does respond in the affirmative, and he does head towards that direction. There's not really enough time for that play to develop, but what I want him to do is continue to spot the Iowa, because now we have a 50-point swing, right? So as long as the Hughes doesn't die, and as long as I don't die, we will win on score, especially if I can get B and we can get some scoring out of that. But I'm thinking to myself, okay, we got the lead. I don't have a lot of health to fool around with here. I can't make mistakes. He does have a plane in the air, and he's close to me. That plane may spot me, which may provide them some info as well. There we do get the base. But I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is probably the best play. The other option is go to the east and get off the cap and concede it. They can't really catch up on score in that scenario, so I think that's probably a stronger play in terms of odds. But at this point in time, I'm committed to this play. And I'm thinking, okay, we'll shoot one there. The plane will spot them immediately. Then he's going to stop/turn into the island. So we spread, or shoot the other spread to the left of the original one, which was aimed on the indicator, to the account for the likely braking/turning. Okay, we do catch him with the first set there, and the third Dev Strike, he gone right there for the win. So that's a pretty good Kagero game for you guys. Hopefully you did enjoy it. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. New to the channel, consider subscribing. Lots of World of Warships coming for you all the time. Questions, comments, leave below. Love to hear from you, and we'll see y'all later. All right, peace.